Good morning, friends. In previous lecture, we have discussed about roadways, railways and pipeline. Today we are going to discuss about waterways. People are using waterways from the ancient time. It is cheapest means of transport because there is no expenditure of maintenance, and also it is eco-friendly. In our country, in India has inland navigation waterways of 14,500 km in length. Out of these, only 5,685 km are navigable by mechanized vessels. Following are some inland waterways of our country. It is given here. The first one is the Ganga River between Allahabad and Haldia, 1,620 km. It is national waterway number 1. Second one is the Brahmaputra River between Sadia and Dhubri, 891 km. It is national waterway number 2. And the third one is the West Coast Canal in Kerala, Kottakurma Kollam, Udyog Mandal and Champakara canals. It is 205 km. It is the third national waterway. Then the fourth one is 5 stretches of Godavari and Krishna rivers along with Kakinada, Puducherry stretch canals. This one is fourth one, and the fifth one, it is the waterway specified stretches of river Brahmani along with Matai river, delta channels of Mahanadi and Brahmani river and east coast channel. Its length is 588 km and it is the national waterway number 5. Now we are going to discuss about the major seaport of our country. India has a very long coastline of 7,516.6 km, and Kandla in Kutch, it is a tidal seaport. It was made soon after independence because after partition the Karachi seaport was given to the Pakistan, and on Mumbai there was a too much load of transportation. To reduce that load, the Kandla seaport was made in Gujarat, and it is useful for exporting granary and industrial product of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Mumbai is the biggest seaport, which is natural, and after that Marmagao seaport is there in Goa, which exports mainly iron ore to the other country. And then after in Karnataka, Mangalore seaport is there. This also exports iron ore from the Kudremukh iron mine, and then after that the Kochi is extreme southwestern port, southwestern part of our country. Kochi seaport is there. It is also natural harbor. And then now we are going to see the port of eastern coastal area. It is Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. From Tuticorin, trade is done with Sri Lanka and Maldives. Then after Chennai seaport is there. It is oldest and artificial seaport, and like Mumbai, the load of transportation is too heavy on Chennai also. Then Visakhapatnam, it is the deepest land locked and well protected port. Around this seaport, around the Visakhapatnam seaport, land is there, and this seaport is well protected. Then the next one is Paradip. Paradip, it is in Odisha, and in Visakhapatnam seaport is also mainly used for transport of iron ore from India to other country. Then after Paradip is there in Odisha, and the Kolkata is there. It is at the mouth of river Hooghly, and it is the place where deltas are there. It is a riverine seaport from where the trade take place. Now we are going to discuss about airways. As you know, the airways is fastest means of transport. It takes very less time to reach in any area, but it is too costly. The common person cannot travel with air transport. It requires more money. But in our country, in some region, some area like northeastern part of our country, which have very dense forest and hilly areas are there, traveling to that area is not easy. For those persons who are living in that area in northeastern states, some concessions are given to them by the government. In 1953, airways were nationalized in our country. In our country, the domestic services are provided by Indian Airlines, Alliance Air, private scheduled airlines, and non-scheduled operators. They provide domestic air services, and only Air India provides international air services. And Pawan Hans helicopters are provided to the Indian Oil Limited to reach the area which are very difficult. In that area, with the help of helicopter, they go and they see the condition of oil field. Next topic which we are going to discuss, it is about communication. The topic is communication. Communication, means of communication, is the oldest one. From the beginning of the appearing of human being on the earth, they are doing communication. In ancient time, as you know, for communication, people were utilizing the birds like pigeon. Then person go from one place to another place to say about the happening. And then there were horse rider. They also move from one place to another place to tell about the happening events. Messages were given. But in present time, the communication is very fast. Before 30 years, when cellular phone, mobile phone was not common, it was very difficult to communicate to far places with the help of a postal system of our country. People were sending envelopes and many other medium was there. Money was also transferred by the money order, filling money order form, and it was taking too much time, about 10 to 15 days to communicate, to know the messages of each other. But due to modern technology, invention of modern technology, in present time we can communicate very fastly from anywhere where the network is there. By the network we can communicate all over the world, anywhere, and we can take messages and we can give messages to everywhere on earth. About communication, some points are given here. The Indian postal network is largest in the world. It handles parcels as well as personal written communications. Cards and envelopes are considered first class mail and are airlifted between stations covering both land and air. The second class mail includes book, pockets, registered newspapers and periodicals. They are carried by surface mail covering land and water transport to facilitate quick delivery of large towns and cities. 6 mail channels have been introduced recently. They are called Rajdhani channels, Metro channels, Green channels, Business channels, and periodical channels. These are the channels made to communicate faster in our country. Mass communication is a communication by which large number of people get information. Mass communication includes newspaper, radio, television, internet. It provides messages, information to a large number of people. That is why it is called mass communication. In India, the system of STD is very well. About 2/3 of India's villages are connected with STD, and in present time, everywhere all over the country, the communication facility is in good position. Due to cellular phone, the communication became too easy. Next topic which we are going to discuss, it is international trade. Students, you know, the exchange of good take place between human beings by using medium of exchange. We purchase things, and the area from where we purchase, that area is known as market. Purchasing and selling of goods take place in villages, in town, in cities, and between two states or more than two states, and also from one country to another country. Here we are going to discuss about the international trade. It means this is the trade between two country or more than two country. Everywhere, every type of things are not available, and it is not possible to survive without trade. Like we purchases from the foreign country the crude oil and chemical fertilizers, weapons. These all things are purchased from the foreign country. We import these all things. Many things are there which are not available in our country. Many natural resources are there which are not available in our country. That is why we import that all things from the foreign country. And also in foreign country like Japan, it did not have any resource. It imports all resources from the other country, and it manufacture the things. This is why international trade take place, and we are going to discuss about which is favorable trade balance or unfavorable trade balance. About that, export and import are components of trade. The balance of trade of country is difference between its exports and imports. When the value of export exceeds the value of imports, it is called a favorable balance of trade. If the value of imports exceeds the value of export, it is terms as unfavorable. It turns as unfavorable balance of trade. Means when we import more and export less, then it is not favorable balance. And when we export more and import less, then it is favorable. Now the next topic is tourism as a trade. The next topic is tourism as a trade. People travel all over the world to know, to see what they have listened in the history about the country, about their differences, about different type of people who live in the country. Like in our country, in India, much diversity is there. The tourists come to our country for treatment also, for treatment of their people, and they travel to our country to see the places, the site like Taj Mahal of Agra, Khajuraho temples are there. Many things are there for which they travel to other country. How the trade take place in this, how the benefit comes to our country. Look here, tourism in India has grown over the last 3 decades. Foreign tourists arrivals in the country witnessed an increase of 11.8% during the year 2010 as against the year 2009, contributing rupees 64,889 crore of foreign exchange in 2010. More than 15 million people are engaged in tourism industry. Means due to tourism, many people get employment also, and it provides foreign exchange for the country.